Hello, everyone. TGIF babies, it's Friday. Give them, give them, give them, give them. Yes, I know a lot of you are looking at this, but that's why I came here today to remind you that enjoyment is expected. All of you that are going for your TGIF Jai Jai Waka, it's very important. But first of all, we need to discuss what happened in court today. We had three cross examinations, three from three witnesses. Yes, but something I want to talk about, and it's kind of scary. Now, Mahmoud Yakubu was invited to court via subpoena by the PDP. He did not come in person. He brought someone to represent him. But you could wake up 4 a.m. in the morning to announce a precedent. You cannot come and defend it. We want to discuss the cross-examination proper and its relationship with Section 83 of the Evidence Act. It's Friday, so drink with me. All right, guys, welcome back, welcome back. After that dance, I needed to rejuvenate. If you're just joining me, it is Obehi and the Law. Welcome, and if you've been here before, I say welcome again. So yeah, we're in court today, and we had three separate cross-examination in court today. Quite interesting. To be fair, I would say the respondent lawyers, they did not do badly with their cross-examinations, although some questions were funny and some assertions were funny. In fact, Agbado, the fourth respondent, almost shot himself in the foot, and I'm going to come to that. So first, they started with the professor. So this is just an advice for you. Like, make sure that your witness understands what he or she is coming to do in court, because the questions were really dribbling, and he was very smart about it. He was very smart about the way he answered some of these questions, and I will drop some of the hints right there on the page so that you can see, the way he answered some of these questions. Like, sometimes they ask you an open-ended question and expect you to give a closed-ended answer. Just an advice for you in case you become a witness tomorrow. Don't try it though, because there are some answers that does not really, as in they do not really require yes or no. So you need to be careful how you answer so that you don't shoot yourself in the foot. So for the first respondent, something interesting. For me, I don't want to go into like the nitty-gritty of the whole cross-examination. Like I said, in law, they say cross-examination, the sky is your limit. You understand? But you need to make sure that the questions you are asking are relevant to the facts in issue. You understand? You can ask anything, but just be driving to somewhere where you can puncture the witness statement on oath. So that's it. So for the first witness, a professor of mathematics, very learned man, he came up to tell us how he arrived at what he arrived at. But the striking thing there is Peter Obi had contacted him on the 20th of February. This was definitely before the elections. Now, what does that tell you? That Okute had started preparing for war even before war started. Now, he did not only prepare for the election, he prepared before election and after election. Like, he padded himself. That's why a lot of people are like, how did he manage? Because he knew what he was contending against. See, it's just an advice for you. Don't leave any stone unturned, because it is that stone that you did not turn. That is what your opponent or your opposing party or the respondent will use against you. Make sure that your evidence is overwhelmingly strong and relevant to the case. It's not enough. A lot of us are celebrating, oh, they are admitting this witness statement on oath. It's not enough for your witness statement on oath to be admitted in the court of law. What makes it very important is if it is relevant to your case, relevant enough to sway the judges to say, okay, Ogbeni, take your mandate. So you need to be very careful. That's why you need to prepare. When you know that you are contending for a strong case or a strong cause, leave no stone unturned. So they were like, Now the respondent was asking him, how come, you're now being subpoenaed to come? He said, as at the time they contacted him, he did not have the mindset of coming to court. He didn't know that it would end up in court, and he did not want to come to court. And I'm sure Peter Obi was aware of this. Oh, can you come and testify based on the analysis, the mathematical analysis you arrived at? And I'm sure he must have told him, no, anything court I don't want to do. But that man did not look like who does not want to come to court, because he answered intelligently and was never cornered to give a response that was not favorable to his case or to his person, which was really good. For the second respondent, at some point, they wanted to go into federal high court decisions. And that was where Ikweto-san cut in to say, no, my lord. The question you are asking now, he was only coming here. Remember, I taught you about the two types of subpoena. We have the subpoena duces tecum, which is to come to court to come and tender documents, and then the subpoena ad testificandum. He was not really in court to come and testify. So when they were beginning to ask him so many other questions, and then asked him again, oh, is this tape that they played in court now, the chairman of INEC, is he still alive? I'm wondering in my head, I'm like, why are you asking these questions? Because Section 83 of the Evidence Act has made it clear on how documentary evidence can be tendered, especially in lieu of the maker of that document. So why are you asking, me personally as a lawyer, I'm waiting, like I'm actually going to be intrigued about how they want to come up with whatever they want to come up with, because an agent of the organization that has been subpoenaed, or an agent of the organization who has authority over the recorded evidence, can send somebody, or that agent can come and make that testimony on behalf of the maker, provided you work there and you were authorized by your organization to come. Do you understand? So don't allow anybody to fool you, because I'm surprised that my learned silks, they are making this, I don't want to call it mistake, because we don't know what they're going to be advancing in their written address. And you know how this written address works. First of all, it was the petitioner who came up with his petition, and then of course the respondents, they had to reply and all of that. Now, when it's time for the written address and all of that, the respondents will each advance their written address, and then LP, which is the petitioner, this time would now reply, and then the court will rule finally on everything. So what we're doing here is just, we're just messing around with one or two. We've not yet got into the main, status in quo. So thirdly, before I even go there, PDP, I don't understand. Now, Mahmoud Yakub, you were asked to come to court. You were subpoenaed to come to court. You refused to come to court. You were sending a representative to come and testify for you. I don't understand. You cannot be as busy after election as you were before election. And before election, you were everywhere granting interviews. Now, come and defend what you have done. You're running away. Guys, you should say, well, no, you know too much like this. Like, you're running away from testifying. Now, in saner climates, we will call this contempt of court, and it is punishable by law, because you have no reason not to appear in court to give your own side. And it's obvious. The fact that you're running away is obvious that you are guilty. There's something when you now send somebody and the person does not have a choice. Oh, my boss has sent me, let me come and talk. And then you get where you go talk, Rich. You'll be like, okay, I have no knowledge of this part. Maybe Mahmoudia. Stop, you're playing with the court. That's wrong. No. And again, I'm even thinking, if they are asking Mahmoud to come to court and he's refusing to come to court, what will happen if at the end of the day, evidences have been adduced, a valid conclusion has been reached with all the logic and all the rules employed, and Tinubu is asked to leave? Will he leave? I've been asking myself this question, because it is the impetus and the audacity for me of Mahmoud Yakub. The impetus. It's a slap on the face of the judiciary. The PEPT should be the most important agenda on your list. He who asserts must prove. You said this is the person. Come and prove. You're nowhere to be found. Well, to the third, because I'm already getting pissed, to the third witness, we had the beautiful Ijoma Osamor of AIT. And then, of course, all the witnesses, they came in via subpoena. So you know that they were compelled by the court to come. So she told them that the video that they played, because the video that was played was where, Mahmoud had promised Nigerians that the results were going to be transmitted. So she came into court, and then they were asking her, I think the respondents, like, okay, you're claiming that Mahmoud Yakub said he was going to transmit the result. Do you know the difference between transmit and transfer? And then she was like, yes, of course I do. And then they referred her back to a particular document, a particular newspaper, where the headlines, you see what we're talking about, talk about media. They put a catchy story there to make you read. So is it that my learned silk is not reading? Because even though the body says, oh, INEC says they will no longer transmit, but they said they will not transmit figures, not the results. Because a lot of Nigerians, some persons were scared, some persons were in quotes anxious. And so because of that, they said, okay, we are not going to transmit, so as to avoid manipulations. It will just be pictures of the results itself. Talking about EC8As, I just remember from the first witness that they asked him, they said, okay, you did for only 2 states, Rivers and Benue states. That was where you carried out your analysis, your mathematical analysis. He said yes. And then they were like, okay, and then you did only the EC8As. What about the EC8Bs? Oh God, his reply was mad. He said, the EC8A or the EC8A series, they are the primary level of the accumulation or the collation of results. The very primary level where the actual voting took place. So if that is faulty, what's the point of going to EC8Bs, Cs, Ds, and the rest of them that we had? Do you understand? It's already faulty from the root. It's just like, it just reminds me of this Bible passage, Psalm 11 verse 3. If the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? The foundation is already 4A. What are we going to do with the building itself? Do you understand? So back to Ijeoma's case. Like, she was really very bold in court. Like, she kept giving it to them, bars, like. So they referred her to that newspaper. But what they were saying, INEC said they will not transmit figures, like write out figures, on IREV. It will be the polling unit results as they are, will be snapped and then transmitted onto IREV. Real time, emphasis on real time. Do you understand? So she was like, no, I'm not aware of that, because they usually have this Democracy Day program, which lasts for like 55 minutes. And she actually had interviews with INEC back to back. She said, I was with the INEC chairman on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and he never mentioned anything like that to me. I'm surprised. And so they've rushed now to go and read that particular news, and they're like, what's wrong with Agbado? So she was really intelligent, and even when they asked her again, oh, is Mahmoud Yakub still alive? She was like, well, to the best of my knowledge, but I don't know about after the courts hereafter. I don't know. Yeah, because anything can happen. This is what people keep asking, is he still alive? Because the only thing that can come to my head is Section 83, where, the first part of the law says the person who has, done that electronic evidence should be able to tender such evidence in court. But there are exceptions. You can equally be tendered in lieu. Provided you work in that establishment that same person is working, and you have been authorized by the establishment to come and give same. According to IJ, she said she didn't even have enough time to, I call that IJ now, but is it Joma or Osama Osha? She said she didn't even have enough time because they told her immediately after, because it was supposed to be the chairman. AIT just lost their, the CEO. He died recently, God rest his soul. So his burial is the following week. So they were like, okay, the chairman will not be able to come. So he called on her and said, just get anything possible. So she was like, I have flash drives. I have all of these things. I can go to the office to get them. We have studio copies and we have live recorded copies as well. But there was no time. I was called at 11:50 something to prepare to come to court. So all she did was just to go on Facebook to download it. But it does not change the fact that whether it was what she downloaded, which is available to the public, or what is available in the studio, there's no difference. It's still the same thing. And because of time constraints, she had to come with something to show the court, which will not be different from what is available online. It is impari material. So it was a sweet one in court today, Sha. Honestly, I don't know, but I would say cross examination is not easy. And the sweet part is the fact that there was no need for a re-examination just made the whole thing, it was quite clear that, okay, I don't really see what their examination or their cross examination has done to this case, to be fair. Of course, they keep objecting and objecting to documentations and all of that. Oh, we're not served early. But this case is going to end on the 23rd of June, oh guys, 23rd of June. And to my amazement and my disappointment, we're not meeting tomorrow. The court is being adjourned till 19th. But we have moved now to afternoon, 2 p.m. I think PDP now for 9 a.m. in the morning. So, and you know what happens? It's usually shorter in the afternoon because the judges are tired, which is normal, fatigue and all of that. Unlike morning where they are still fresh and you have the opportunity to call as many witnesses as possible. But we move. Like I always tell you, if you know your mandate has been stolen, you need to do two things. One, pray, and two, spread the word. A lot of people do not even understand what's going on in court. Peter Obi is fighting. He's fighting for his mandate. So even if you're not drawing strength from anything, I think you should draw strength from Peter Obi because he really shocked me. Like you actually started preparing for court case in case of an eventuality of a rigging, and there was an eventuality. So most times prepare. Don't leave any stone unturned. I don't want to repeat myself, Jared. It's weekend. You can see the bar behind me. We're ready to drink Fanta because unfortunately we know they drink, but you are invited to come and have some if you live around me. Don't ask me for my address, Sha. Follow me on social media, on all of my media handles, and juicy gists are coming up. I'm sure this latter week is going to be really interesting. This is the last week of the hearing at the PEPT. So follow me for more updates. Until then, TGIF, enjoy your weekend and have a lovely, lovely evening. Bye.